Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. In my last weekly outlook, I promised the YouTube viewers that I'd probably give them an update because I know there were going to be changes in the structure, especially the yen. We wanted to know whether it was going to come back down or whether it's going to break out. And it did break out. It break out in our room and we are buying. YouTube traders might not get that information as yet because they're not in our trading room on a daily basis, and 5 times a day they're not here with us. So this recording will be out. I'll try to make it very short. So I'll do it in 2 parts. The short part will be out for YouTube, and then we will come back into the trading room and I'll record a second part for the rest of our group, right? Let's go. Let me start. So I'm going to start with the yen because this is one I really want to make I really want the rest of the viewers out there to see. So I'm going to start on the weekly and the yen. And if you're watching any of my video for the very first time on YouTube, and you're going to see this video for the first time, you need to look at more of my videos to understand the method we're using. It's called wave analysis. It's something that I've come up with based on what I've learned in Elliott wave and Dow theory and all the other methods that I've learned in Forex. And I've decided this is about the best thing you can do. And the way we look at the patterns, it's not about the counting. Again, it's not about how you count your waves, because I was looking at a wave counting yesterday on YouTube and on Facebook, and you couldn't fix it more than that. I mean, literally, I looked at it and I was like, if I had to learn wave analysis, Elliott wave from that, I would never learn it, because here is what happened. Was a move up, there was a correction, then a move up, another correction, a move up, another correction, and a move up. And the person labeled, very nice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect 5 wave. But I'm asking a question, so what happened to this? Like, you can't ignore it, right? You just can't ignore that and label that thing 5 wave. And that's exactly what the person did. So I'm thinking, well, if I have to learn this, and you're telling me this is the theory that is working, I would probably never learn it. I would just give up. I'll say this is pure nonsense. Because if you label like that, it is nonsense. That's not how wave analysis should work. I don't think that was what Elliott meant when he gave us that theory, right? So that is incorrect. The way you look at it, and that's why I stopped all those labeling, because the way I looked at it is precise patterns. It's very simple. If you're looking at me for the first time, you would always look at an impulse, a correction, and it will always be followed by an impulse. That's the basis of wave analysis. Forget anything else. Just remember this. Right? This is what you call the auto, right? It has this impulse, correction, impulse. Just remember that. If you remember that, you will see it in all time frame, every time, always. And that is why when we have this impulse here, and we have this impulse here, and we have this impulse here, we're always looking for where is the correction. This is your correction. And if you see this, you can, with 0.99999% guarantee that you're going to get an impulse going back there. Now, the question is, well, if you know that, what do you do with it? How do you take advantage of it? And how do you know when and which one is going to go up? So the difficult part is this: understanding what's happening in here so that you can understand when and which one is possible going to go up. Patterns are not simple. They're complex. Even the simple patterns are complex in their nature. And that's what we do. We study these complex patterns. We understand their behavior. We figure out what the pattern is internally and what are the chances of it going up. Now, you might not know exactly which one is going to go up, but you know what a simple first complete pattern would be. So 1, 2, 3 is your first complete pattern. If you start buying here, believing this is going to go up, go to break this up, you would do very well trading this piece up. If you figure out that this is dropping here, and let's say you didn't even get this sell, but you broke the low and you thought this one is going to go and you bought into this one, you did well. If you didn't sell this because you didn't know it was going to go break the low and it broke the low and started to go back and you buy, you did well. When this one finally broke the low here, you forget about the sells. If you bought that going back up, thinking this is the one you're going to go, you did well. We actually sold in this, and then we knew this one was going to break out to at least make a new high here. It could have gone back down. But you don't care, because every time you're buying is upwards, upwards, upwards. And we're buying again to break this top. Now, if this was a 60-minute chart, it would be a single trade. If it was a 4-hour chart, it would probably be 3 trades. If it's a daily chart, it's about 100 trades to the top, depending on what time frame you trade. The 15 minutes, and you get trades both ways, up and down, as long as you trade in the 4-hour patterns as well. And there are many 4-hour patterns as you go up. So the bigger structure is not for trading, it's for analysis, your direction. And then you go and you trade in the smaller structures, longer terms. So what we were expecting is this to come here. It could also come here, but any one of those would have to come back down, depending on whether you get a regular flat or a running flat. That is if you break the stop or not. Not this stop. Can it stop short of breaking that top and drop? Well, I'm not expecting a contracting flat, but that is also possible. So 3 possible flats we can get. One is a contracting flat here, one is a regular flat here, and one is a running flat here. All 3 of them will give you an impulse back to the downside, regardless of which one it is. Now I'm going for the regular one. So my intentions is that the regular one is more common, is going to come break here and then go back down. Go to the 4-hour. And if you were watching my webinar before this or you're following me, remember what we were saying, this here is a correction and they'll eventually break out. Now, how much times they can go down in this? Again, it's the same thing as the big one I showed you. Look for the buys from the bottom going up and watch for the breakout here. So we got the breakout, we got in the trade and we're in the buy. If you're following me, you should be in this trade here right now. There's another trade setup that is going to form here. That'll be another buy, and then there'll be about 15, 20 more buys to the top. If it makes another big consolidation somewhere in the middle here, we'll get out, we'll trade this consolidation and then buy again. Pretty easy. It's as simple as that. An impulse, a correction, and another impulse. It can be simpler. You just have to learn to recognize it. So let's go. I'm going to go through all the majors for the YouTube viewers. We're going up, and this one also. This one has a contracting flat that we, for a very long time, we said we can't confirm it, and that's true. If you were following me at the top here, we said this is going to come back to the low. Go back to the webinar that I did there when this correction happened, and I told you it's going to drop, break the low, and then go back up. We're always expecting them to break the low because that's the regular flat and it's the most common of them. Contracting is not that common, which means where they don't break the low and they go right back up. We also have this sharp wave here, which means somewhere in the future, we're going to get a sharp wave. But this could go for a long time, create a sharp wave here, and then go finish the move. That possibility exists, right? So you're buying here, just keep buying on the 1 hour. This is just analysis. It doesn't mean you're not going to see when this is happening. You're going to see it. It's a big move, so you're going to see it. But it will come somewhere in the future, just like this one here. And this happened. But this was corrective, right? This was the easier one to know that it's going to come back here, right? Because that's very corrective. This is impulse. It's correction, but they're very sharp moves because you're moving in an impulse. So you'll eventually get there, pull back and just go there. So this would be a long drawn out running flat, right? Something we identified, which you will not find anywhere else except if it's copied from me, because we identified that long drawn out running flat pattern as a pattern because it exists as a pattern. Here is one. Long, drawn out, running flat pattern. You don't see that anywhere else. Sharp impulse into it, a lot of mess in here, and a sharp impulse out of it. Very simple. Remember what I said the basis is? An impulse, a correction, and another impulse. This was an impulse up. This is your correction, and another impulse out of it. So this is where we're coming out of it. Right. Go back to the 4 hour. This was a breakout of this. You probably would have got a trade somewhere in the break here if you took it. This was a buy, that was a buy, and there are more buys that are going to happen. You're going to get corrections in every, sorry, I don't know which one I moved. I'll take it out, sorry. Every correction you get will be a buy setup. Now, you don't see me having a buy setup here because I wasn't here this morning, but my traders would have seen this and that was a buy setup. If this makes a bigger correction, and I think we're making a bigger correction here, we're going to have more buy setups. Could it be the reversing for a deeper pullback or the start of the big running flat that we were expecting? Possible. We would look at the pattern, we would see what this is doing here, and then we'll decide if we get a sell or if we get a buy. Pretty easy, right? Let's go. Silver. Consolidating. I think we're going to go get a buy here because they're consolidating here. there's a rare chance that it will come back deeper. And we explain that if this comes here and consolidate like this, making a flat there, this would be a sell. If it goes up here, it's right now making a flag. That flag is a buy setup. So let me do this in details, because this is where everyone who are not wave analysis trader gets really confused. You just said you can sell it, and now you're telling me I can buy it. And I get that sometimes. I get that message. Dude, you just told us it's a sell, and now you're saying you can also buy it. And that's true. So if this remains a flag, it's a buy to break the top, because there is a pattern that is completed to go. If it comes deeper here and it consolidates into a flat, not a flag, but a flat, it's a sell for one more impulse down, and then we would see whether that goes up or whether that makes another flag and drop, another flag and drop. So you would say, well, where is the pattern there? And I would say, go look at the higher time frame. And as you see, I thought all of you remember this one. We can repeat that here and we can still go. So how much consolidation you can get in here before you go? Who knows? That's where the complexity comes in. And that is why I'm saying if we get a buy here, we're going to buy it. But if it becomes a sell, we will sell it. Because we were selling this one down, and we were selling this one down, and we were selling this one down. And when it reversed and started to do it, you can see that we were already buying. I think the first buy was here. And then we closed it here, and then you got more buys going, and this was a buy, and then you can see the buys going up, and we're looking for buys again. Right? It's pretty easy. It's not difficult. So where would this go? Well, if it continues to consolidate there, we're heading for the top. We're heading to this top here. If it goes really sharp, we're probably going to break the top and accept that this is all the correction. I don't think that is so, because this one is not as impulsive as I would like it to come. Right? It got a lot of deep pullbacks in it. So there is a chance that we're making a more complex pattern, which means this could just come back here, go there, make a deeper one, pull back there, come back here, go break the top, and this would be a bigger flat here. That possibility exists. It could be more complex than that as well. See again how complex it was. It doesn't matter. In terms of analysis, it really doesn't matter how complex it becomes. You will see the pieces as they're added. And in terms of trading, you don't care. It's going to be more complex. Trade the pieces that you have right now. So right now it's upside. So we will try to trade that unless it's structurally changed to downside. Right now it's still upside. So we're going to trade this down and then up if this becomes a bigger correction. If it's this small flag to go up, we have a buy setup here now. Now be careful. This is only for my group. I explained that buy setup, how that would change into a sell setup if it doesn't go. And also how to manage that trade if it tags you, but it doesn't go. We have rules on how to do that. The number one thing you would find that my group does now, which you might not find anywhere else, is trade management. You normally don't hear about this anywhere. You hear about money management, you hear about risk management, you hear about a lot of things, but you never heard about trade management. Well, very soon you're going to hear all the gurus start talking about trade management because it's important. It's important what you do when you're already in the trade. This is where traders make mistakes and they panic and they get scared and all the wrong things, everything that could go wrong when you're in the trade, not when you're out of the trade. When you're out of the trade, you see everything clearly. Everybody sees everything crystal clear. After the fact, everybody was a winner. All the gurus are winner after the fact. It's what do you do when you're in the trade that is important. Every candle becomes a scary moment for you sometimes, especially if it's not going as fast and as far as you would like it to go. And this is where traders, I think all of you might have heard the saying, let your winning run and cut your losses. I always said these things are easier said than done, right? It's pretty easy to say these things. It's hard to do them. How do you know? Let's say, for example, this tags you here and it starts to pull back. Should you cut it? Should you keep it? Are you keeping it for your winnings to run? Or should you cut it because it can come back and take you out here, so you're cutting your losses? It's easier said than done, like sell the tops and buy the bottoms. Nobody knows where the tops and bottoms are. I can give you any chart and ask you, is this the top right now? And you can't answer that question. No one knows where the top is going to be. So it's easier said and done than done. The same thing with, should you keep it? Or should you cut it? And that's where traders get scared when they're in a trade that is a very small profit, they cut it because they don't have an idea what the chart is going to do. And when they're in a big loss, they keep it because they're hoping that it's going to come back. If you don't understand structurally what the chart can do, and you don't manage your trades properly, you make those mistakes. So trade management is very, very important. Teaching you how to manage your trade when you're in the trade is what we do in our trading room every single day. So let's go. We're looking for a buy. By the end of the day, that could change, and it could be a sell if this keeps going down lower here. We'll let it go back up, and then we'll sell it. So let's see. Silver, gold, pretty much the same thing. Euro could make a deeper correction, and I think we're anticipating a deeper correction now because we do have some divergence, and they've moved quite a lot already. This needs a correction. This whole thing here needs a correction. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a deeper correction here before it drop. We'll consider if we get buy setups. We don't have anything in it right now, but we'll consider whether we get buy setups here or not. If it stays here and consolidates, if they do this here, we'll definitely be selling it. Not today, tomorrow. You won't have a sell setup there today. It's unlikely. Pound going sideways. This trade would have been a sell from here, but you would take it off already because it's not going anywhere. We're making deeper thing here, and I believe we're going to get an upside here. This looks more like it's going to go up one more, right? Not far, but up one more here, and this would become some big, long, drawn-out consolidation for downside. So take this off and take this off and just wait. We don't have any buy setups. We don't have any sell setups, but most likely you could get a buy setup here. Aussie was a surprise. We were looking for a buy there when this came down, and it actually dropped lower. This was our buy going up. So now we made one more low. Where are we in the bigger picture? We're still in this corrective structure. Take this off. That didn't go. So we didn't get in that trade. We're looking for a buy. We didn't get it. I was not in, so we didn't look for a sell. I don't know if any of my traders sold that. There was a sell set up in it, but that was where our sell should come in. My traders know the rules. There was a sell set up here, and you know why you should be selling it here and not at the top there. That was a good sell, actually, if any of my traders take it. I was not in the room at that time, so I didn't know whether that was taken as a trade, but that was a sell setup. We're at the bottom here, and we're still in this structure. So two things you're looking for. One, a breakout and a drop, or a retest of the top. Wait for either setup here and then take the trade. We don't have any of those two setups right now. So by the end of the week, we will get it. I can't post it. Maybe if it consolidates here and it stays here for a longer period of time, in the weekly analysis, you will get that. New Zealand, same things. New Zealand was a sell. We were selling New Zealand. Actually, this was a sell yesterday. And we're selling it because we're still very far away from the trend line, which means this can still come more. Very likely New Zealand will go back up, right? Because this is very corrective. So the probability for this to go back up to the top there is higher. It's still going to drop. The chances of this one dropping is less. It could happen, but it's less because of the way this is coming down. It's coming down more corrective than impulsive. Swiss. Okay, so I want you, if you've never seen my webinar, if you're following me, you can make a comment. Remember when this was coming down, what we were looking for? Drop, and they drop, and they drop, and you remember where that arrow came from? It came from here, and what the possibilities that they're going to come here and that they're going to go back to the top. And I told you I'll leave these two arrows here for you to see what happens. That was when we were here. I want you to go back and find the date of those webinars and look at it. Look at the Swiss only. And remember what we said. This is a correction. It will have to go back up to the top there. Magic happens. And it's moving as fast as this is moving. Well, what's going to happen when you get to the top there, right? So when we get to the top there, I'm looking at this as an impulse, and this is an impulse. So which means when we get to the top there, we may or may not break that top. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's only relevant for what you're going to call the pattern. When we get there, we're going to get the move back down, either like this or like this from here, from just breaking this top. Either way, this becomes another flat. Right? This here becomes another flat. And that means we're going to make one more up, and we're going to make one more up. As of now, with the information we have on this chart, those are the two possible patterns that could happen. Can that information change? Absolutely. If structurally something else happens in this chart. But with the information that I have and the patterns we have to forecast that are coming, those are the only two possible forecasts we have right now. Both are telling you exactly the same thing. It's just whether they break the top or not. So when we break this top, we're buying to that top. Every sell setup would be a sell for us. We're buying towards it, break the top, and then we start looking for sell setups. Pretty easy, right? Let's go. So you can see the buy setup we had there yesterday. There was another one here. We missed that. I missed it. I wasn't up that early. Asian session could probably get that. But I think if they make another consolidation here, we'll buy it again to break the top. If they make another consolidation, we'll buy it. Every one consolidation will go until we get a reverse, a flag, and we start selling. The reverse flag could be a deeper correction. No problem. We sell, we get out, we sell, we get out, and then we look for buys again. Like I said, unless there's structural change, that is what we're going to see. So far, there is no structural change. So it's doing what we expect it to do. CAD, yeah, it's going up. So we didn't get to the 786 on the daily. They turned. This is a flat. You've got this, you got this, you got this. This is a correction. If this comes, this is coming up really sharp. You notice this is sharp and this is sharp. So at some point, they might make more corrections here and then go. This could be all the correction. We're also aware with this big one here, this big flat in here, this is a rare way of starting the up move in an impulse. It does happen, but it's rare. So we are aware that this could literally make a new low here first before it goes, which means this could come back here and then go, make a new low and then go, right? So what we'll be watching this piece here for is a pattern to buy or a pattern to sell. Yesterday was a buy. That is because we broke this here, right? I told my traders, this could be all the correction simply because it went really slow in this piece. So this was a buy setup. It didn't go very fast. So probably we would close the trade here. By rule, we'd close the trade there and we'd wait to see what happens. If this makes another correction here or a correction above this top, it's a buy. It means we would accept this as all the correction. If they come back down, that would be amazing. If this drops here and make a flag, we'll sell for two reasons. One, go break the low. Second one, make a bigger flat in here. Either is a good trade to the low. And if it keeps doing this, perfect, you're going up. If it keeps making flag and drop, perfect, you're going down. So which one? We'll see. Right now, it's at a point where the upside looks more possible, but it's not enough information for that, is it? Yen, I showed you the yen already. Euros. Well, okay, since I'm on the euros, I'm just going to give you this one. We're looking for a sell setup here. If this breaks out as a sell, if it goes back up, just, I don't know if you want to trade in that small range, but we're looking for a sell. I'm going to stop this recording for YouTube here, right here. Is there any more chart I wanted to show you? I'm going to just select one or two more that I think might be important, give you good trade setups that you should look for. Euro Oz has a sell. Let me see, some of the yen pairs have trades. Say the Aussie yen. Let me give you the Aussie yen because that has a trade setup on it. You can probably trade this. Aussie yen, we sold that yesterday with the intentions that it's just coming back to this level. Close your trade, it's going to go back to the top, and then you have a sell setup. So this is 1, 2, 3. It should go back to this top, break that top, and then drop. Okay, that's a flat. How high this can go? Well, that's a question, but breaking the top is enough. Actually qualifies for completion. So I think this could go back up one more, take out that trade. If you took the trade, you close it. Can it come a little more down? Yeah, it could probably still do this and then go back. So what we'll be looking for here is a buy setup. If we get a flag here, we're buying it, right? So if this makes a flag here in the 1 hour, I mean, this piece here makes a flag. If we get a flag here, that becomes a buy to break this top, and then we're looking for a sell. All of that could happen before Friday, which means before my weekly webinar. So I'm showing you this trade because that potentially could be a trade you might get. See that? Where would that trade lead you? Back to this level and potentially much lower. I'm not going to go into details of that, but keep your eyes on this one. If you don't get the buy, or if you don't want to take the buy, it's better to ignore it. If you don't have the skill level, let it ignore it, let it come back to the top here. And then look for your sell setup. That's a bigger trade. And it's a safer trade because you'll be trading in the direction of the impulse. So guys, I'll stop this recording for YouTube. You guys, I promise you an update. I give you an update. I actually give you a lesson, right? On trade. If you would like to learn this stuff, you know how to find us, send me a Skype message. My Skype is always in the description. Thank you very much. If you like the video, share it. I think it's educational. You can share it to more people. See all of you.